maybe the wake-upper, maybe you can come here and sing so we can see you. So, cette semaine, il y a un groupe de jeunes ambassadeurs qui viennent un petit peu de différents pays et qui sont là pour une retraite. Okay, I invite you to come and offer a song. It's a song for us, so we can hear you better. Vous pouvez venir ici, et comme ça on peut vous voir et profiter de votre jeunesse et beauté.
So we have a song we can sing all together, and it starts with a bass line that goes, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, I breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe in, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So we have another song to share, and we do it in call and response. So the ambassadors are the call, and you, if you like, are the response. One, two, three. Forget your perfect offering. Forget your perfect offering. Just ring the bells that still can ring. Just ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. 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 Forget your perfect offering. Forget your perfect offering. Just ring the bells that still can ring. Just ring the bells that still can ring. There is a crack in everything. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in. That's how the light gets in.
Dear Tai, our dear teacher, well-loved teacher, and dear community, hello. Welcome to Lower Hamlet in the meditation hall of the Assembly of Stars Hall. We're the 4th of April 2019. So welcome to everyone. Welcome to the spring. This morning, while I was eating my breakfast, I like to sit near the glass doors so that I can see the coming of the sun, the rising of the sun. And this morning, I was eating my breakfast, feeling gratitude that I had something to eat, and also for my sisters who cooked, and all the conditions have meant that I have food on my plate. And I looked also at the sky outside and the sun that was rising, and it offered the most incredible show. Mauve, violet, orange, golden, greys and blue. It was just incredible this morning, just a unique spectacle. So I was so happy that I have this practice of being mindful, so that I could really be there and present to appreciate this moment that nature offers us. And I was very happy to be able to contemplate that. Another moment was yesterday. There are many deer around here, and the deer, they get quite close. Get close to the sisters' building, coming near to the door of our bedroom. So I'm in a building that's right next to the orchard, and there was a deer who was walking around several feet away from the sisters, we were sitting there looking at them. We were watching this, watching the show of the deer. We were offering our presents to the deer, and the deer were offering their presents to us. And it was absolutely beautiful to watch that. Amongst us, maybe it's gone out. There's a little baby, and this little baby, I think he's too young to walk, but soon, in a few weeks, or in a few months, the baby is quite young, but this baby will start crawling. And all by himself, he'll want to stand up on his 2 feet. I'm sure you've all seen a child making their first steps. It's amazing to see that. To see this small child, which gains a certain liberty by standing up on its own 2 feet and making its first steps, and the joy of the people around, the parents who can see those first steps, and this feeling of liberty, because now this child will be able to go everywhere all by himself. So the first steps bring us a lot of joy, but afterwards, in one way or another, it becomes completely banal and normal. Walking, in fact, is a miracle, but we forget that. About 6 or 8 million years ago, our ancestors who walked on their 4 limbs, they stood up to walk just on their two feet, and our front legs became our arms. So this was a gift for our species to be able to walk And this morning I'd like to speak to you a little bit about my own practice of walking. It's a gift that I received from our teacher Tai, and I have a lot of gratitude because he was able to teach me again how to walk. I was able to learn again how to walk thanks to mindful walking. Before I discovered mindful walking, I practiced sitting meditation and also walking in silence. And that was a question of changing between sitting meditation or going for a walk, going into beautiful places. So it was just silent walking. And in my mind, I had all my projects, my worries, my thoughts, so I walked. But I had so much going on in my mind. So even if I found myself in the most beautiful landscape, I wasn't really aware of the beauty around me. And then I heard about walking meditation, mindful walking, which Tai teaches, and I read books about it, and I asked myself, what could that be? It was a mystery for me. What other way could there be to walk? And when I came to Plum Village, seeing Tai walking with the Sangha, all the community walking, I understood. I discovered mindful walking. We'll listen to the sound of the bell. So mindful walking, that can completely fill each one of our steps. To place the foot, to give like a kiss to the earth. And I'll start by reading a poem. I like a lot Thai's poems, so I'm going to read an extract of one of his poems. The empty path welcomes you, my child, fragrant with grass and little flowers. The path paved with paddy fields, still bearing the marks of your childhood and the fragrance of mother's hand. Walk leisurely, peacefully. Your feet should deeply touch the earth. Don't let your thoughts lift you up into the air, my child. Go back to the path every moment. The path is your dearest friend. She will transmit to you her solidity, her peace. Pose-y des pas calmes et légers, des pas détendus et paisibles. With your deep breathing, you sustain the mudra of earth touching.
Reviens sans cesse sur ce chemin.
Walk as if you were kissing the earth with your feet,
Transmettra sa paix,
as if you were massaging the earth.
soutenant ta respiration consciente
The marks left by your feet
avec la terre.
will be like the marks of an emperor's seal,
Soit pour la terre,
calling for now
ton pied.
to go back to here,
Chaque pas, soit pour elle,
so that life will be present.
que sa trace, comme le sceau de l'empereur, donne l'ordre au maintenant de revenir régner dans l'ici. Ainsi la vie sera là.
So that the blood will bring the color of love to your face, so that the wonders of life will be manifested,
Les visages,
and all afflictions will be transformed into peace and joy.
et le corps et l'esprit seront en paix. Parfois,
There were times when you did not succeed, my child. Walking on the empty path, you were floating in the air. Because you used to get lost in samsara
dans le cercle
and drawn into the world of illusion.
dans l'océan des illusions. Mais le chemin
But the beautiful path is always patient. It is always waiting for you to come back. That path which is so familiar to you. That path which is so faithful. It knows deeply that you will come back one day. It will be joyful to welcome you back. It will be as fresh and as beautiful as the first time. Love never says that this is the last time.
avec une infinie patience. Qu'il soit recouvert de poussière rouge, enfoui
That path is you, most intimate child.
boueux par la
That is why it will never be tired of waiting.
une couche de
Whether it is covered now with red dust, or with autumn leaves, or icy snow,
sur ce chemin.
do go back to the path, my child, because I know you will be like that tree. The leaves, the trunk, the branches, and the blossoms of your soul will be fresh and beautiful once you enter the mudra of earth touching.
Rentrer en contact
So enter into contact with the earth.
amener toute notre attention
So this is to bring all of our attention to the soles of our feet.
mais aussi
Not only the soles of our feet, but also the sensation,
tout entier
all the sensations in our whole body as we walk.
sur nos pieds marchent,
Our
le
feet are
corps
walking
entier marche.
and the whole body is walking.
Parfois, on peut, quand je fais la marche,
Sometimes when I walk mindfully,
comme si je traverse
I feel as if I'm walking through the air,
dans de l'eau.
or as if I'm in water and I'm pushing my way through the water.
Et pour moi, la marche
And for me,
méditative,
mindful walking
c'était quelque chose qui m'a beaucoup aidé à
is something that has helped me a lot to transform my emotions, to go through great difficulty when I have lost my dear ones, to connect with the earth, the beauty of nature, our Mother Earth, to really get into contact with the earth. And this was a whole path of transformation, particularly when there was the death of my dear ones. So at the beginning, when I discovered mindful walking, often this is something I share a lot. Thai, At the beginning, when I came to Plum Village, Tai suggested to us that we could walk with our father. When my father died when I was 19 years old, there was still sadness in me. I missed my father. So I invited the presence of my father. It's like a visualization that he's holding our hand and we can walk. And so my father's footsteps are in my own footsteps. So I can walk with my father. So I felt the presence of my father. And in fact, that had been 20 or 30 years ago he died. And I could feel. And I visualized my father at the beginning. It was rather intellectual. But little by little, I really felt his presence inside me. And it was an experience that really touched me very deeply. And that allowed me to really touch deeply this practice of walking mindfully. And I wanted to go deeper into it. And Tai talked a lot about this practice. For me, this is a practice that supports me a lot. It helps me to heal. And as I said, it helps me to really connect with the earth. And that brings me a lot of happiness. So there are many ways that I was walking slowly. I could also walk quickly when I was hiking. So it's a way to experiment, to explore our steps. The principal thing, the main thing, that's the most important, is to be mindful of our steps, to really be present, to come back to our breathing, and to walk. Because there is the difference with sitting meditation is our body is moving, so our mind and our body become one as we move. Often, when I had a strong emotion, everyone has this experience. We all have emotions, maybe anger, sadness. Here, for example, we have meetings, and sometimes during a meeting, that can bring up a feeling of frustration in myself, or agitation, or anger. And what I do, if I feel if the emotion is too strong, then I go out for a short moment. I say, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And so I do some steps mindfully to welcome, to be present for what's going on for me. And for myself, I find it's easier to allow this emotion to be present if I'm in movement rather than sitting. So I come back to my breathing, my steps. And then I can go back to the meeting. And I can really be present, stay present for the emotion that's there. And this was a whole training. And I'm still training myself to transform. There were moments, there were particular key moments in this path. And if I'm telling you about this, it's because walking meditation, it's something that nourishes me so much. I really would like that everyone could feel this, could bring it into your lives, so that you can savor what is here for us. We are so lucky, most of us, to have legs and feet that are able to walk. What I wanted to say as well, recently I read a book about walking, and in this book it was talking about someone who has a fibromyalgia. She did a pilgrimage walking. At the beginning it was so difficult, but she, little by little, she succeeded in healing herself through walking. So walking has a capacity to heal our mind and our body. So the key moments in my discovering walking meditation, I was ordained here in Lower Hamlet, and then I spent a few years in Maison d'Inspire, is our little monastery in Paris, just by the river Marne. It's a very beautiful river. And for me it was quite difficult to be in a very small building and a small monastery. So to walk along the river, that was something that helped me to find my own space, to connect with nature. And there are many animals that live along the river. So during those 5 years, the 5 years that I lived there, there were different people of my family, people who I loved a lot, people near to me, they died. And so during that period, it was a time when I had a lot of sadness. And when I heard the news, for example, my niece, suddenly she died, I would go and walk, simply walk, and bring all my attention to my feet. Simply breathe with every step. Maybe there were tears, the sadness was there, but to feel the presence of that person who had died. I love you. We're walking together. Simply doing that, it helped me to transform the emotion in me. And also the earth that I was walking on, our Mother Nature, Mother Earth, is able to embrace all my sadness and my suffering. She is there for us. Another thing that I love to do also is hiking in the mountains. And before, I lived in Canada, in Quebec. I know we have someone from Quebec here with us. I love Quebec. It's a very beautiful region of Canada, and I lived there 10 years before she was ordained. And an area called the Laurentides is very old mountains of Quebec. I also lived in the state of New York, but upstate New York in the Catskills. Very beautiful area. And I also lived in the Bahamas on an island called the Island of Paradise, and I walked in these places. But I didn't know about mindful walking then. I simply walked. But as I said before, my mind was completely taken. I had to think about projects and plans, or there was this I had to do. So I wasn't really present for the beauty of the landscape, the beauty of nature all around me. And I realize now, I'm so happy to be living here, that I realize that I missed something. All those beautiful gifts that were offered to me, and I missed my chance. So I invite you to fall in love with Earth now, right down the here and now. Don't wait. Bringing mindfulness into your everyday life, into your body, to be aware of everything around us, and that our body is a miracle. So I discovered this beauty through this practice. And also something that helped me, whilst I was living in the Maison d'Inspire, the monastery in Paris, we had a retreat for health. So during that retreat, we had different kinds of walking. And a brother offered us a walk, and he explained that under our feet, on the soles of our feet, there are many, many little nervous ends of nerves. And that gives us a lot of joy, because it stimulates all these nerves in the soles of our feet. So after we've walked a while, be aware of the joy that is that's coming to us. And so while we walk, there are endorphins, these happiness hormones in our body. So try be aware of that. And when our brother talked about these nerve endings in our feet, I was able to be aware that it's true. I felt more joyful after walking for 2 hours. So I invite you to really be aware of how you're feeling whilst you're walking and after you've been walking. Oh, that I feel good. This just walking for the simple pleasure of walking. We don't have to walk to get to a goal, a destination. Because if we do like that, then we're already at our goal and we're striving to get there. I know I have to go a little distance, I know, but in fact I stay in my steps in each moment as I'm walking. And when I was 60 years old, 2013, so you can work it out, my age. When I was 60 years old, which was 40 years since the death of my father. Before I was a nun, I was married, and I have a daughter who now she's 35 years. She loves hiking too. And she allowed me to discover the joy of hiking. At the beginning, she invited me, before the big hike for my 60 years, she invited me for 10 days to walk on the Chemin de Compostela. So we started somewhere in France, Saint-Jean-de-Port, and the first thing we had to do was cross the Pyrenees. So we had a big rucksack. So I was in the, right, I've got to really try hard, make an effort. I walked very fast, not at all following my breath, because we had to cross a whole range of mountains. My daughter, she knows the practice. She said to me, "Mum, breathe!" Because in fact, I wasn't at all with my breathing. I was in this idea, I've got to get there, rather than being in my steps. Okay, yeah. She's just making sure with me she's not going too fast, but it's okay. So, coming back to my steps. And what helped me, one step at a time, to not be in my next steps, but to be one step at a time. And an idea came to me, that line of a song, the mind can go in 1,000 directions, but on this beautiful path, my mind is in peace, and with every step, a flower blooms. So, with each step, a flower blooms. With, as I breathe in, with it, each, I breathe out. Step, breathe in. A flower blooms. So we had to go up with the rucksack on my back, but I went very slowly and concentrating on the steps of my daughter, who was walking very slowly just ahead of me, so that I could get rid of that energy I had in myself. I've got to get there. It was a very beautiful experience. And I realize now when I go hiking, when I'm swept away by the effort, oh, this is going to be hard, I let go. And what I touched, and I invite you all to touch this as well, I allow myself to be carried by the earth. Rather than it's me that's making an effort to walk, it's the earth which is holding us, it's carrying us, it's allowing us to walk, it's carrying us. It's a very different experience. So from time to time I touch that experience, not always, but sometimes. And when I just let go and allow myself to be carried, it's a very deep joy. And recently, a group of us, brothers and sisters, we went for a skiing retreat, a mindful skiing retreat. It was wonderful. It was like 2 weeks ago. This was a great source of joy and happiness. We'll have another one next year, so sign up. There's not much space, but it's a very happy experience. We were skiing in Andorra, in the Pyrenees. Such a beautiful landscape. And there was someone who said to me in our skiing group, we were skiing in the fresh snow. He said, look, the curves as people ski. We were skiing hors-piste, and it makes the most beautiful curving shapes, like Thai's calligraphy. And if you look around the room, you can see Thai's calligraphy, and you can see these circles that Thai designed. When he made his calligraphy, he would be breathing in and breathing out to make the circle. On internet, you can see the short documentaries on our teacher making calligraphies, and so these traces on the snow are just like Thai's calligraphy when he was painting calligraphy. And when this friend said that, that really touched me, because that woke me up. Thai is with us on the ski slopes, whereas Thai, he's never skied. But Thai is with us. I'm bringing Thai's presence here. I'm bringing his presence here. And so we continued to ski, and I really brought my breathing. I breathe in, I breathe out, as I came out of the turn. And as we walk on the grass, on the street, our steps can also be designing calligraphies as we breathe. We're going to listen to the sound of the bell. So when we walk, and we walk almost all day long, we get up. When you get up in the morning, the first steps you make, you can make them mindfully. 3, 4 or 5 steps just to go to the bathroom, to go to the dining room, going out of the house, So bringing mindfulness into our steps, and throughout the whole day, if we can bring mindfulness into our steps in our everyday life, that's going to completely transform our life and our relationship with life, ourselves, our body, the people around us, and our environment. We can develop a solidity, a stability, getting into communication with ourselves, with our body, with others. Walking, we've learned to walk. When we learn how to walk mindfully, what often happens, we start by walking very, very slowly, and maybe, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we can really lose our balance. And it's because we've learned how to get balance. We've learned how to balance ourselves. So the child will fall very often, and the child learning to walk, and the child learns how to be balanced. But walking mindfully will teach us how to find a different kind of balance, how to be very solid and balanced inside. We can really establish ourselves in the here and now, to be centered rather than wobbling when we have an emotion. Even if we think we're quite solid, if we have a strong emotion, we can we lose our balance. So walking mindfully will give us this balance, this solidity, which will help us to go through difficult times in our life. We will touch solidity, tranquility. So mindful walking will help us to construct this inner solidity. Often we travel around quite a lot. You too. You go traveling, take the metro, the train, the airport, you take the plane. And I see that when I go traveling, on the platform or in the airport, or if I'm going to go shopping, or I find myself in different places where there's a lot of agitation around, I walk mindfully. I can tell myself peace in every step, peace with every breath. So I can construct my own solidity, stability, to not allow myself to be swept away by the energy of agitation and stress all around me. And with Tai, our teacher, and now with the community, we often do a walk in the center of a large city where there's a lot of agitation, in Los Angeles, Madrid, Paris, New York. We walk mindfully all together as a community. So we try to walk with peace, where we can offer our solidity and peace all around us. I'm going to listen to the sound of the bell. Come back to our breathing. I'd started to tell you the story about when I was 60 years, and it was 40 years that my father had died. So for this anniversary, we went for a hike during 6 weeks over the Pyrenees. We crossed part of the Pyrenees from the Atlantic to the Mediterranean, and during this time, during this walk, I dedicated this walk for my ancestors. I walked feeling the presence of my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, all my beloved ones who have died, who are no longer physically there, but to feel them in myself. So I invite you, when you walk, when you walk in mindfulness or walk in the countryside or in the city, to invite your ancestors to walk with you, because they're there with you. Because anyway, they're there, whether you're conscious of them or not, they are here inside us, with us. So be mindful of the presence of generation after generation of ancestors who are with us, and they are walking with us. So what I did during this walk through the Pyrenees was that I generated the presence of my ancestors, and I offered this, my breathing, my steps, my eyes, so that I could see the beauty of the landscape, and it brought me a lot of healing for my sadness that was still present in me, because they are no longer physically with me. I cannot hug them anymore in my arms, but I was able to touch them, to feel them in a different way. And they said to me, we are here for you. My mother said to me, I am here for you. My father said, I'm here for you. And another practice we have here, Thai offers us 4 phrases, magic mantras, very simple phrases. And when we can really connect deeply with the earth, with Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Mother Nature will say to us, my child, my dear, I am here for you. So this magic phrase, I will write on the board. A mantra is a phrase that when we say it, when we are really present when we say it, it will bring a transformation. My dear, I am here for you. Maybe we are very concerned by the environment, by everything happening with the planet Earth, and something that can help us so that we know what to do is to fall in love with Mother Earth. Fall in love with Mother Earth. And when we are in love, we want to take care of the person that we love, of the object of our love. And to be able to take care of Mother Earth, the practice of mindfulness, to come back to our breathing, to generate the energy of mindfulness with our steps, to be able to be there, to be really present, really present for life, for Mother Nature, we will know what to do. So we can say to the earth, "Dear Mother Earth, I am here for you." And that's the best gift we can give to the earth. But the best gift we can give to our children, to our loved ones, to our partners, to our friends, to those who we love. "My dear, you know, I'm here for you." It's not just saying, look, my dear, I'm here for you. Of course they can see that. No, if you say it like that, we're not really there. It's to learn how to really be present for the other, to offer, "I am here for you." That is the greatest gift that we can offer. And we learn how to really be present through the practice of mindfulness. To come back to my daughter, we have a very lovely relationship. We have a beautiful relationship. Once she expressed to me recently, and I realized, she said that when she was a child, she was with me. She spent a lot of time with me, but I wasn't really there for her. I was occupied by all the things I had to do. I had a lot of things to do. She was there. I was there physically, but I wasn't 100% present there for, because I was taken up with so many different things. So to offer our presence, to have those times when we're really there. "Chérie, my dear, I am really there for you. An hour, 15 minutes, whatever, I'm really there for you." For example. But maybe our child wants to speak to us, our loved one wants to speak to us, but we're still working on the computer, or we're still looking at our iPod or our phone, these amazing gadgets that we carry around with us that have become so indispensable. If we no longer have the gadget, we can no longer be alive. So we put it in our pocket. But we do need electricity to recharge them, no? You've got to recharge it. Breathing, we always have our breathing. We don't need to recharge our breathing. It's always there, available for us, and free. So we have our gadget, and maybe our loved one wants to speak to us, but our electronic gadget is going buzz, buzz, buzz. And we say, yeah, I'm listening, but we're kind of half our eye, we're looking at the screen. Or maybe our loved one telephones us, and we continue to work on the computer, at the same time we're talking on the phone. So to be aware, am I able to be there 100%? My dear, I'm there for you. I breathe. I am here for you. And I look at that person in their eyes. I am here for you. And there's a friend who comes to Plum Village. She practices with her children. And they've brought these magic phrases like this one. She comes with her children, and the children notice when the mother, she gets swept away by irritation, anger, or getting annoyed with the children. And so when the mother manages to stop, we invite everyone in the practice to stop with the sound of the bell, or maybe the bird singing, or maybe the cuckoo. Have you heard the cuckoo yet? So this cuckoo, the birds, they might just stop. So this child, particularly the daughter, notices that if the mother could just stop, come back to her breathing, she would not shout at them. So the children said, I'm going to have a magic phrase. It's going to be, come back to your breathing. At the beginning, at Plum Village, I would get annoyed quite easily, and the sisters would say to me, Sister Downium, breathe. And there's nothing more annoying than having the sisters say to me, Sister Downium, breathe. That made me even more annoyed. But this child would say to her mother, Mum, I'm going to tell you a magic phrase. Me too, I love you. And the mother knew that that meant, stop, come back to my breathing. She would stop, come back to her breathing. Mum, I love you too. And she would say, I love you too. And they would look at each other in the eyes. So it's a question of finding something which reminds you to come back to yourself. How to be there for the other one. My dear, I'm here for you. For me, that also means because I love the earth so much, to listen. Listen. Sometimes we think we're listening, but there's a lot of things going on in our mind and we're not really listening. We just listen to the discs playing in our mind. My dear, I'm here for you. And I know my mother, in 95, she died, and I missed her so much. But getting in contact with the earth, I've been able to feel the love of my mother through the love of the Mother Earth. I felt my mother's presence that I so missed. I could hear my mother saying to me, my dear, I'm here for you, I love you. And to feel that, and that brought me a lot of healing. And now I can talk about her with joy. But before, when I would talk about my mother, the pain, the sadness, which wasn't healed, would come up. But now, whenever I feel alone, if I feel isolated, I feel despair, I don't know what to do, we can simply listen, and we can hear a bird that's saying, hello, cuckoo, I'm here for you. And Tai says, when he used to travel a lot, he used to say, when you hear the cuckoo, because the cuckoo starts in spring, and Tai would often go traveling in spring for retreats for many months. Tai, we miss you. You're going to leave. We would have a lot of attachment. And Tai would say to us, when you hear the cuckoo, that's me calling you. Cuckoo, cuckoo. And that's Tai saying, I'm here for you. So to come back to that. So the second little mantra, I know many of you know these phrases. What is the second mantra? I know you're here and I'm very happy. Another thing that I like doing a lot is hugging trees, or to just put my hand, just place your hand on the trunk of a tree, or if you've already done it or not done it, I invite you to do that and listen. Listen to the tree speaking to you. The tree saying to you, I know you're there and I'm very happy. And we can also say to the tree, our loved one, we can look in their eyes and say, I know you're there and I'm very happy. To have the capacity to really be present and to be able to say that to someone, I know you're there and I'm very happy. And when we say that to someone, and we say vraiment, we really say that with our whole heart, that person will feel seen. They feel that they matter. Many of us, sometimes we feel that we're completely invisible, that nobody can see us, or that we just don't matter. But if we say that, then that person will feel seen and heard. They feel that they matter. You can modify the phrase so that it's more in your own language. But these are magic phrases that can change the life of someone. Because maybe you're going to meet somebody, you will smile to them, and you can say to them, I know you're there, and they will feel so happy. So these small phrases, I invite you to use them in your everyday life. They're very easy to say. And you can also look at yourself in the mirror. Maybe you're going through some difficulty with yourself. You don't feel so much love for yourself. You can look at yourself in the mirror and see all our ancestors who are looking back at you. When we look at ourselves in the eyes, it's all our ancestors looking back at ourselves. So we can say these phrases to ourselves. I know you're there, all my ancestors, and I'm so happy. Or also with the person sitting next to you, and also to the earth. I know you're there, my dear Mother Earth. And that makes me so happy, gives me so much happiness. And you'll hear the earth saying to you, I know you're here and I'm very happy. Even if you contribute to my destruction, I'm happy you're there. So there's also a third mantra. Because we all have difficulties and suffering from time to time in our life. When we go through difficult times, the third mantra, I know you are suffering. And I'm here for you. When we're really present, really there, we can feel, we can see, we can hear the suffering and the difficulty of the other person. And so we can say to that person, I know that you're suffering. I know it's very difficult for you at this moment, whether it's your loved one, your child, whoever. I'm here for you. So we offer our presence, our listening, our love. to the other person. Really to say that with a lot of availability, that we offer our presence to the other one. We can say to the other person, I know you're suffering, and sometimes there's anger or despair. We can say that to ourselves. I know that you suffer, Sister Daunim, you're suffering, and I'm here for you. Means that we have compassion for ourselves. We can take care of ourselves or the other person. I know you're suffering, and I'm here for you. I can listen to you. Sometimes we have a strong emotion and we want to push it away, ignore it, repress it by consuming something, for example. And the suffering will come along like a child who pulls on your apron, pulling, saying, listen, listen, listen. So it's to be available for the suffering that you feel, to be able to hear. I know you're suffering and I'm here for you. We can say that to ourselves or to our loved one. I can listen. And maybe in that particular moment you're not free to listen, so you can say to the other person, I know you're suffering, I'm here for you. In this very moment I'm not available, but we can see each other this evening or this afternoon and make an appointment with the person. We can also do that with ourselves. We can be very busy, have a lot of things to do at work, and we can say to ourselves, okay, I know something is there, I'm suffering. This evening I'm going to sit down with myself and I'm going to take care, look, see what's going on. We can speak to our inner child to listen to our suffering. And of course, if it's our loved one, our child, we can make a rendezvous with that person. Say, then I can be really present for you. And then there's the fourth phrase, which is the most difficult. Because each one of us, we have pride. Many of us, we seem very strong, independent people, and we have a lot of difficulty to say this little phrase, I'm suffering, please help me. This could be, I need help. Please could you listen to me? I'm suffering. I'm not well. I can't get out of this alone. I really need help. To be able to say that, it's not so easy to ask for help. For some people maybe it's easier, but for many of us, to be able to say, I'm not well. I don't feel good. Something's happened, something that's not easy. To be able to say it and to say that I need support, I need help, it's not so easy. I know for myself it's not easy for me. Maybe for some of you it's easier to say. Is it easy for you to say that? Oh, I see a lot of head shaking. Oh, that's good. That makes me feel relieved. I'm not the only one. Often, one of my sisters is sitting here with me. I don't know if she understands my French. We were in one of our monasteries in the Vermont, in the States. I was a novice at that time. And often there was something that made me feel very sad. And that's what I did. I would always go close myself in the room and I'd cry. But little by little, I learned to be able to say to my sister, I'm suffering, I don't feel good. Or even without saying anything, we can feel that the other person. But if we can express, I need help, we'll go near to a sister and allow ourselves to cry. The person who is there for us, will be able to take our hand, should be able to offer us energy that can embrace us, that can support us to get through this difficult moment. But what we need to do is let go of our pride, not to close ourselves away and say, oh, no, I'm not well. When someone says to you, oh, you don't look like you're going very well, do you have to say, oh, no, I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me. That shows our pride. But to be able to show our vulnerability, our authenticity, to be able to admit, yeah, we're not feeling so great, I need help, I need your support. To be able to learn to be human, an ordinary human, that we all have difficult moments, and to allow ourselves to be helped by others. I will stop here. I'll stop here this morning. In a few minutes, in half an hour, we will have walking meditation together. So I invite all of you to bring all your mindfulness, all your awareness into your feet, your body, and to listen to the earth, to feel the earth, Mother Nature, to hear her saying to us, my dear, I'm here for you. My child, I'm here for you. And we can say, Mother Earth, I'm here for you. I'm really here for you. I know you're here, dear Mother Earth, or dear ancestors, if we want to walk with our ancestors, or dear friends, dear community. I know you're there, and I'm very happy. It's wonderful, we're such a big practice community. Community, I know you're there, and it makes me feel so happy. I feel a lot of happiness. Afterwards, we can say to the other or ourselves, I know you're suffering, and I'm here for you. Maybe we're going through something difficult in our life at the moment. The collective energy. We know amongst us there are people who have a lot of suffering, and people in the world who are suffering, and we can say, I know you're suffering and I'm here for you. We offer our steps of peace, mindfulness, solidity to those who are suffering. And all this energy will be transmitted to the earth. And we can also say, maybe we're going through suffering, I'm suffering, and I need help. Please help me. And we can allow ourselves to be carried by the energy of mindfulness created by the community. We can allow ourselves to be carried by the community. And a very beautiful gift that's very easy, that's free, that we can offer to ourselves and to others. I invite you to offer that without holding back, is a smile, to smile. A gift we can offer without holding back at all, giving as many as possible. Sometimes we don't know what we can offer. But simply we can offer a smile. So turn to the person to your right.
Quelquefois, on a du mal un peu à sourire, mais au fur et à mesure, le sourire va venir des profondeurs de notre.
So sometimes we have difficulty smiling, but the more we smile, the more easily that comes to us. Even if we're going through a difficult time, the smile gradually can become more easily and easily to us. So thank you so much, dear friends, for your listening. And I wish for you happy continuation of your day. And the flowers are smiling at us too. We listen to 3 sounds of the bell. Thank you to me. I smile to me. Because I know I speak very fast, so it's more difficult for me to... it's okay. I managed to follow.